close the game out. Okay, boys and girls, do I have an exciting one for you today? This deck is named Of Mice and Pigs, and we are rolling with some new cards from the new Alchemy set. So, without further ado, let's get started. This deck has got an absolute ton of synergies in it. I can't wait to show them to you. So, what are we running from a new card point of view? We are running 4 of the Dedicated Dollmaker. This was one of the ones that I highlighted as one that looked like it had potential, and I think this kind of shell is the one that we want to play it in. I sort of built a lot of it around this card. This is where the idea came from. So this is the 2 costing Dwarf Artist for 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you exile up to one other target non-land, non-token permanent. Its controller creates a token that's a copy of it, except it's not legendary and it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It then has an activated ability: tokens you control gain indestructible until end of turn, but you can only activate that once. So, the idea of this deck really is we have a whole bunch of things that do something when they enter the battlefield, i.e. we can trigger it again with the Dollmaker. We've got some things that we wouldn't mind having their effects twice because they're legendary things, and it seems to pair very well with the 3 Blind Mice, which is the saga from Wilds of Eldraine. So this has Chapter 1, create a 1/1 white mouse creature token, fine. Chapter 2, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. This can turn any of our permanents into tokens, even a Sheoldred, even a bigger Sheoldred, even the Invasion of Innistrad, and then we can copy that token and create sort of more versions of it. So if we cast the Invasion of Innistrad, given one of their creatures -13/-13, we can then play the 3 Blind Mice. On Chapter 2, we can choose to copy the Invasion of Innistrad. On top of it, turn 3, we can copy it again. So we can kill 3 of their creatures with just one of these Invasions of Innistrad. The ideal is that once we play 3 Blind Mice, next turn we play the Dedicated Dollmaker, targeting 3 Blind Mice to turn this itself into a token, so it can self-perpetuate and basically give us infinite tokens of anything else on the board once we find another Dollmaker. So it's kind of an infinite combo in a sort of, not that we win in one turn, but that we can basically full lock down our opponent if we draw 2 of these and 1 of these. That is, however, not the only sort of and real point of the deck, because we're also running the Porcine Portent. And now this is, I'm amazed how good this card is. I thought it had potential because of its instant, but just the flexibility of it is incredible from my playtesting. So this is the 4 costing enchantment that has a 3 costing instant adventure. Exile target creature, you gain 1 life each boar you control. You almost never gain life because the only way we create boars is by playing Porcine Portent at the enchantment side. So unless we've already played one, we probably don't have any boars around. This is just an exile target creature. Well, who can complain at that for 3? And then it's also, you know, when it enters the battlefield, we can conjure one of the pigs onto the battlefield and it gets +1/+1. So we get a 3/3, a 3/4, or a 3/3. I very rarely choose the 3rd little pig just because we're not actually conjuring that much stuff. I might build a deck around that one day. We very commonly choose the 1st little pig. Exile target artifact or enchantment, activate only once, is very effective in this deck. You see lots of the 1 ring around, well, we can exile it. So I'm glad they made it exile, not destroy. If people are running things like Ossification, we can get our creatures back. If people are running 3 Blind Mice themselves, we can get rid of them. The other nice synergy with the 1st little pig is that we are running one of the most busted cards in Alchemy, which is the Juggernaut Peddler for white and a black. Our opponent reveals all non-land cards in their hand, and we basically swap one out for a Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a 5/3 artifact, so if we then play the Porcine Portent, get the 1st little pig, we can exile the Juggernaut that we gave them when they eventually play it. So let's say we get rid of a Sheoldred from their hand, replace it with a Juggernaut. On turn 4 they play their Juggernaut instead. We can then get our 1st little pig and exile that, which we couldn't have done to the Sheoldred. So it's got like extra sort of pain for the opponent built in. We typically would take the 2nd little pig if we're in a bit of a board stall state and we need to create would be a 5/5 flyer with 1 Porcine Portent in play, which we would always have at least 1. We would never really pick this one. I think maybe in some unusual occasions where our opponent has lots of like destruction wraths, The reason that I don't think this is that good in Alchemy at the moment is that Sunfall is the main wrath of choice, which would exile this anyway, so the perpetually getting bigger in your graveyard and bringing it back later wouldn't be that helpful. So that's a very nice little combo with Peddler. The other nice combo with Peddler that we have is, it's not really a combo, a little sort of nod in the deck, is that is the Virtue of Persistence. The Virtue of Persistence obviously has the sorcery, which give a target creature -3/-3 until end of turn we gain 2 life. The main reason for this in the deck is to combat mono red. That life gain and destroying one of their creatures could be crippling to them, but also -3/-3 can take out a Juggernaut, because Juggernauts only have 3 health. So we kind of know if we turn something into a Juggernaut that we're going to find some removal for it, or maybe already have removal for it in our hand at some point later, which is really nice. So we're also running the 3 Blind Mice, as I said. We're running Lord Skitter, Sewer King, so this is the thing that can exile things from our opponent's graveyard once a turn and create a black rat once a turn, basically. Why are we running this in the deck? Well, A, it's a good card to build up a board presence for us. It pairs well with 3 Blind Mice, because 3 Blind Mice, if we haven't managed to pair it with Dollmaker, creating more tokens is good, because it means we'll always have something to target on chapters 2 and 3, and also going wide and giving our creatures +1/+1 and vigilance can be game closing with the Lord Skitter, so it goes well with that. Also, it exiles things from our opponent's graveyard, which is a bit of a synergy with Ashiok, because it can put things into exile for us, which has some potential. Actually, maybe it doesn't even have synergy, except at the beginning of combat. Yeah, it does, because this is not the beginning of combat as well, so we can order those how we like. 2 times Liliana of the Veil. Why am I running Liliana of the Veil? Because I think it's funny with Dollmaker. So we can run a Liliana of the Veil. Often the thing about Liliana is you play her, you -2, you force the opponent to sack, and you're not necessarily always keen on plussing to make you yourself and them discard a card. You might be, but you might not be. If you've got a Liliana sat around on 1 loyalty, you can just Dollmaker your Liliana, get it back with 3 loyalty, and make them sack something again. So it's kind of any permanence that cause our opponent to have to do something negative, i.e. their creatures get destroyed, or they have to discard, or whatever it is, they're always going to be more fun with Dollmaker around, because we can re-trigger them. We are running 1 copy of Legions to Ashes. This is because it is a flexible removal spell, and there are some sort of like 3 Blind Mice type token effects around in Alchemy, which I think are going to become more prevalent. So in case anyone's running the same thing back, we do have this 1 out. So if someone's copied loads of copies of 3 Blind Mice, we can exile them all in one go. Note it can also target the 1 ring, which is very good for us. And also, it was just good to have some removal that can apply directly to enchantments, artifacts, and planeswalkers. For example, the Porcine Portent is just creature focused, Sheoldred is just creature focused, Invasion of Innistrad is creature focused, as is Invasion of Fiora, so as is Virtue of Persistence. So I just wanted something that could help us remove artifacts and enchantments. Now we are only running 1 of them, so it's not going to be completely game breaking, but it's there for those weird situations where they've got something very urgent for us to remove, such as the 1 ring. Now note, with our Juggernaut Peddler, we will typically not target creatures because we have a lot of creature removal. We would want to remove from their hand things that we're going to struggle to get rid of, like the 1 ring, like the Palantir of Orthanc, or whatever the other 3 costing artifact is called. This is what this is here in the deck for, really. Porcine Portent we've covered. We're running 1 of Mondrak Glory Dominus, just because I think it's going to be really funny if we ever get this combination down with these 2, because let's say that we start copying 3 Blind Mice with itself after having made it a token with Dollmaker. Well, we can create 2 of those with Mondrak, and then once 3 Blind Mice, we can end up with multiple copies of Sheoldred, or multiple copies of this Sheoldred, or there's all sorts of funny things that could end up happening. I don't actually think it's the best thing. It's more of a win more card, but because of the meme of copying our legends that you wouldn't normally be able to copy multiple times more than once, I think we have to play at least 1. Invasion of Innistrad, I already mentioned. It comes in, it gives one of our opponent's creatures -13/-13, so it's basically a destroy spell for 4, which is a bit expensive. But because we can copy it with Dollmaker, I think it actually works well. By copy, I mean it destroys it and you get another copy. Now, the backside of it is good, because having 2 more zombie creature tokens, it pairs well with 3 Blind Mice. Copying the 2/2s can be a good thing for us to copy to shut the game down. And being able to exile stuff from opponents' graveyards is actually quite relevant in Alchemy. There are some reanimation strategies, so having a bit more option to that on top of Lord Skitter is nice. Note that there is a slight nombo when you use this with the Dollmaker, which is that if you do turn Invasion of Innistrad into a token, if you then remove the 5 siege counters from it, it can't flip because tokens can't flip. So just bear that in mind. If you are ever turning your battles into artifact tokens with Dollmaker, they're not flipping for you. 2 copies of Sheoldred the Apocalypse because A, it's a broken card, B, being able to copy this is really nice. It pairs very well with the Run Ring, which is our one sort of decent element of card draw in the deck. Two copies of the One Ring for that exact reason. It can save us when things are getting a bit out of hand against other lower curve decks, and also adding some draw in later on is good. Ashiok we're running because there's lots of methods of exiling stuff in this deck, which works well with Ashiok because it means the nightmare tokens that she creates can grow quickly. So the Portent exiles, Legions to Ashes exiles, Lord Skitter exiles, Dollmaker exiles, Peddler exiles, basically everything exiles in this deck. But also, it's got an interesting effect with its -7, because target player exiles X card from their library, X is the total mana value of cards we own in exile. Now, what I've found with this deck is actually we own a lot of stuff in exile, even if we don't exile lots of expensive stuff with the +1, because if you have Virtue of Persistence, very commonly this gets played as a 2-cost removal, and then the Virtue itself sits in your exile zone as a 7-costing card. So every Virtue we play is going to add 7 to that effect. Porcine Portent is the same. Any adventure, the main side cost is going to sit there waiting to be played and sort of working on Ashiok's Ultimate. So we're going to have occasions where we've got 20, 30 cards we can exile from the top of our opponent's deck just from playing adventure spells. So it's just something to bear in mind when you're playing Ashiok. It could be an out in a grindy game. Mostly we're using it to find the right cards we need, because there are a whole plethora of cards, different cards in this deck. So the +1 can help you search for the things you need. The -2 can create you some tokens, which pair well again with 3 Blind Mice, and can sort of close out games themselves as they keep growing. And also it's just a sort of sustainable threat that we can place on the board. A lot of our threats are creatures, so being able to have that Planeswalker in there as well on top of Liliana is nice. 1 copy of this Sheoldred because it's got the really nice effect of forcing them to sack a non-token creature or Planeswalker, so it's a little bit of additional Planeswalker removal for us, especially if we copy it with Dollmaker, we can keep shutting down Planeswalkers. It's a 4/5 creature to attack. Now, note our opponent probably won't have tons of stuff in the graveyard because most of how we destroy stuff is exiling, and even if we don't, we might be exiling it with Lord Skitter or whatever else. So I wouldn't expect to flip Sheoldred too much, and maybe Sheoldred is on the chopping block for things in this deck if we want to make space for other cards. For now, we're going to stick with 1 copy because it is legendary and 1-offs can be nice. Finally, we're running Invasion of Fiora. So this is the 6-costing siege, which has 4 siege counters on it, defense counters, which can destroy all legendary or all non-legendary creatures or both. So it's a board wipe on a permanent, hence why we're running Dollmaker. If we wipe the board, our opponent manages to rebuild, we can just play Dollmaker, sort of bounce the Invasion of Fiora, I keep calling it bounce, it's not really bounce, and destroy all their creatures again. Now note, we do actually run a lot of legends ourselves with Lord Skitter, Mondrak, Sheoldred and Sheoldred, so in some of the times destroying all non-legendary is going to do it for us. Other times we'll have built up a board of tokens like mice or the rats from here or the zombies from here, and destroying all legends will be the right thing to do. So just bear that in mind, that this is actually very flexible in this deck, and picking the right mode is going to be very important. And as I've mentioned, the virtues already, if it gets to late game, having this option to play it for 7 and bring back our Sheoldreds, bring back our Mondraks, bring back Juggernaut Peddler even more importantly, because it can keep stuff out of our opponent's hand. Interestingly, we can even bring back Dollmaker to then copy one of our destruction spell, the Invasion of Innistrad, for example. So there's a lot of interesting flexible lines through the deck. Now, we are running 4 Restless Fortress, 4 Scoured Barrens, 4 Captivating Crossroads and 4 Caves of Koilos. So I don't think colour of lands will ever be an issue. We're running 1 Minas Tirith because we have a lot of legendary creatures, so it won't always be tapped. And also we do have lots of creatures to attack with because of the tokens coming out of Lord Skitter. That could be doubled by Mondrak, 3 Blind Mice, etc. So it's actually relatively relevant in the deck, unlike the black equivalent, which I think is never relevant to anybody. So that is the deck. I have had some I made even a sideboard for this because I think it could be something that turns into a good best of 3 deck. For now, I've had a lot of success testing this, so I'm hoping we're going to get some wins on the ladder. We are at Mythic. Let's have some games, see how we get on. Alright. Number 9 as our first game. Oh, come on, man. Come on. It's going to be mono red as well because we've not got any of our virtues. It probably won't be mono red being number 9. It's probably going to be toxic. Number 9 playing best of 1. I must be playing a lot of best of 1. Especially if they don't turn up to the games. Number 9's arrived. It is toxic. Sadly, this is just a 2/2 blocker for us. Not a very good one. What is with all the toxic playing these days? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Happy to help, but
okay, Rock Priest down. Skrelv is probably good for them. Oh my goodness.
zombies and leave.
So we're probably going to flash in Invasion. Actually, we can't flash it in because of Scroll. Ah, that's nice though. Guess we have to get rid of Scroll. So they can't force either creature through. Oh man, another Scroll. Okay. They'll sack the fetchling.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Time to find out if I technically control the Invasion of Innistrad or not. I'm amazed that they don't want to keep that for protection. They want to kill the Liliana. Fair enough.
Isn't how things were supposed to go.
That's funny. We'll take this one and we'll exile Skrelv. Alright, that lets them seek something. Oh man, Contaminator. At least we can get rid of the Contaminator. Oh, I know we can't celebrate too much because they missed their first turn, but that is funny. Okay. Goldfish. Mr. Teferi. Sadly, not going first. Okay, keep. Yeah, that's okay. This needs a legendary creature. Okay. So they've got halfling. So it's probably the combo deck? No, not combo deck. Wow, look at all this go for the throats. Guess we take one of these. Got no real desire for them to have 3,000 go for the throats. They can't play this, right? So that's good. So they could cut this down and attack. But they haven't got great options. Real attack. No anything. That's interesting, isn't it? So next turn they can play this. So we kind of want to be able to hold this open, but then turn 4 I'd love to be able to play the ring, so maybe we'll have to just play this for now. And we'll deal with this later. The ring will buy us a turn anyway, thanks to the protection. Yep, there's that bad boy. One more land and they can play the triplets. I don't really do board wipes in this deck, so that would be bad for us. Okay, Dread Knight instead. See what they got with that. Bramble Familiar, that's okay. I'm afraid that ain't going to do any damage, so... That's probably good for us, so let's drop you. Then we can tap the ring and we can exile something. Yeah, we'll trade that. Not that they need to, because they've got cut down. I don't know what they're holding on to this cut down for. That's an interesting one. You're going to play the triplets out? No. Dread Knight, okay. And the Juggernaut, fine. A little bit more creature exile, we might need it. So let's play this, which obviously they can go for its throat, but that's okay. But it lets us play this land untap this turn to use the ring. And if they go for the throat, they probably can't triplets, so it sort of sets them back a little bit. Feels like we're slowly getting control of this game, I think. We do need to exile that. Obviously we can't give them infinite value off of it, but it does cost them 4 every turn to draw a card, then get it back. That's a nice answer to the Juggernaut. And so is that, in fairness. Could just sweep this board. Although, we kind of want to do that after the triplets are out, I would guess. So let's just do that. And we can play Sheoldred because it's a legend. And we can just choose non-legendary to clear the triplets up. There we go. Got them out eventually. All gone, all gone, and all gone. Sweet. Alright, next one. We're playing against lots of well-rated players, aren't we? Well-ranked, I mean. Okay, we'll start with the fortress. No sleeves on number 111. Black, white, that's not what we want. We don't want to play against mirrors. It is an absolute mirror. I mean, not the same cards, but I suppose this is probably the worst thing for us. Interesting that they didn't play the Hopeless Nightmare, because you always want to be able to bargain it into the graveyard. They took 2 and then they can't now bargain this, because then you basically you want to bargain it, so then you don't have to pay the 3. I mean, maybe they've got other bargain things in their hand already, but I'm tempted to ditch this land. We've got 3 3-drops we want to play. Got plenty of time to get to this 4. Okay. Let's get rid of this, it's the least useful. Okay, we can't see any removal, so we'll just get this down and start doing some work. The old Juggernaut. Interesting that they would play that now when they know we can potentially get rid of it. Let's attack and see what they do. Okay, so they are relying on this token to copy, i.e. I don't think they've got the Dollmaker in their hand. So let's just play Ashiok. Add to the pressure. Obviously they could have a board wipe, which makes Ashiok less good, but I don't know. Okay, this is going to be a bit brutal, I'm afraid, opponent. The one copy of Legion to Ashes has just closed that out like a treat. Alright. More Mythic fun time. Bit slow, but at least these are life gaining lands. And we are on the draw, so we've got a chance to draw untapped in the next 2 turns to let us play the Peddler. Because the rest of the hand is nice. I mean, this is a bit slow, but 2 and 3 drops, it's kind of what you want in Alchemy. It's about the speed of the games. What do we think this is? Mono white. We haven't seen a lot of mono white. That's interesting. We've missed one of our draws. We've only got 3 to find one full stop, so, and even that would be a bit slow. So what is this thing? 1/1 first strike human. It's a soldier. I wonder if this is white soldiers. Yeah, could be soldiers. Aha, we have finally done it. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with. It's not even mono white soldiers. Harbin's obviously a bit of a winning card. What's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I think of the word? The card that wins you games. Okay, they're probably not going to attack this turn. They need blue land for this. Okay, good. Ooh. Since we haven't got the Dollmaker, we won't play this. This will hold on to. Let's pass. See if they find the blue land. If so, we can exile their lord. Otherwise, potentially just exile this Resolute. Because it does stop it unearthing, which is nice. It does trigger when it leaves the battlefield, right? Yeah, so it doubles their boon. But who cares? We've got a Legion to Ashes for anything else, and eventually we've got this. Okay, we've actually got the Dollmaker, which is interesting. That wasn't a controversial move. All I've done is play a land. What are we waiting for? What instant do they have? This thing does nothing. This deck always feels a little bit like you're slightly behind and then you slowly take control of the games, and that's kind of feels like it's happening again. Surely you wouldn't block here for 2 damage. Oh man, what is this? I've never seen this card. Did they do it too slow? Flash Flying, Human Soldier. Something that's actually going to start damaging us. probably need to get to our Invasion of Fiora. Exile from your graveyard, scry to Knight. Interesting in a soldier's deck to be running this. I mean, you do need to find your soldiers. You keep building them all up so that we can remove them all. Problem is, Siege Veteran will give them value for them. We can activate the Dollmaker to give all of our tokens indestructible. They could play the Lord. Yeah. So, do we bother trying to kill something? Probably. Maybe just like this. We don't really care if our other creatures die, since we're thinking of wiping the board soon anyway. Hopefully next turn, not next turn. We could get rid of this Lord. I don't think they're going to have any counters. You never know though. I'd also be tempted to get rid of the Siege Veteran in the hope that we draw a land eventually. Obviously we could have done. Okay, we'll get rid of this. So we're taking 6. Fuck it, we don't need these, do we? We'll take 4. In the hope that we draw a land for a board, right? Nice. Oh man, this situation is just comedy. They'll probably struggle to come back now. I hope. Let's get this Sheoldred down. Honestly, what is this? I'm just gonna take a quick sniff of this. This is comedy. Okay. They've been holding on to that little one. Yeah, Juggernaut. Fine. We'll just keep creating copies of these for now. We don't need to try and close the game out. is going on? What is going on? Yeah, they're just counting the number of them, like, what to do here? What is this? Alright. The Mage. Number 301. So far, we're just climbing. See if the Mage has got the medicine to stop us. We haven't even had a nice ideal hand like this either in a game. I mean, this isn't ideal, but these two are pretty good. Is it soldiers again? No, it is not soldiers. It's red, white, go wide. Okay, let's get rid of Imadane's recruiter. That's pretty dangerous. Yep, easy block. Okay, time to start stacking up the mice, I think. And then just hope we draw a Dollmaker at some point. No, we'll let that one damage through for the sake of having something to copy. And now we've got plenty to copy. They flash in these. What's the win con? Is it? There's no rabble rousing in this, so they could hard cast Moonshaker, but obviously that takes like a trillion mana. What's the? I mean, Imadane's Recruiter gives all creatures +1/+0. There's also an instant called Burn Bright that gives all your creatures +2/+0. Which I suppose would be pretty good. We might as well keep blocking. We've got this isn't our actual win con, right? These mice, they're just the fun and games bit before the actual event. Protection from everything. Draw one. No. Because we can let everything through next turn, then our creatures these will be 6 damage. There's the Juggernaut to use the Virtue on. I mean, that isn't how I expect to win games with this deck. Just mob them with mice. But it seemed to work. Alright. 994 versus number 666, baby. This is slow. Oh my goodness. Do we think this is mono red? If so, we're in trouble. It isn't, which is wonderful news. Black, mono black, and black green. Okay, just the usual. White. What is this? Ah, this is an atrocious skin. Sleeve even. What is this? Okay. Just one of those effects. Okay, we'll just do that and pass. We've got no choice. I'm not drawing any more land. Oh, we did draw that, didn't we? Yeah, we need one more, please. We've got 3 of these Porcine Portents. Okay, we'll be discarding. We'll discard this. Doesn't look like a huge amount of creatures are building up, does it? Why are they doing nothing? Their hand is just jam full of removal, isn't it? Alright, we'll try and play this. They've probably got to tear asunder being in these colours, but... One or more tokens would be those plus food. Okay, some kind of food deck. Is there some kind of food combo, or is it just a grinder sound? Sack 3. Oh my goodness. I think I'm... Wait, what is this combo? This is a bonkers combo. It's 2 cards. Why have I not seen this before? Sack 3 foods, draw a card. What? Why? I need my Invasion of Fiora back. Do we? I don't think we've got. Oh, we've got Legion to Ashes that we can draw to deal with this. This is mental 994. If one more token, oh my god. When do they think enough is enough? I just want to see if I draw Legion to Ashes, because if we do, we can get rid of every single one of these rats. We've got two options to draw it: top deck or the card below that. Even then, they could do this all at instant speed, right? So they could just do it all again. So why are we running Brave the Wilds? They want to be able to get the 6, I understand that. What? So I suppose they're running this thing as well, yeah, because that would infinitely grow, because they would be sacking. Ah, that's the loss we get. Why have you done this, wizards? Okay. Now that we know about that food combo, we can just make sure we remove the first one of those creatures to come down at instant speed, I suppose. I mean, if it becomes a huge thing in the format, we'll have to tech towards it a little bit. I don't think it will, because the creatures are very removable. But yeah, interesting one to see. The thing is, you couldn't even remove the second creature at instant speed because Golden Opportunity. Because yeah, they could just respond. Both of those things are just instant speed abilities, right? I'll play this and this, I think. Be interesting to see if this is any good. I think it's trash, because we could just kill the bird, right? Okay, they're not even going with that. Understandable. Should we just dump the ring in? I think so. Then we can make sure we hit our subsequent land drops. What, this is a strange Naya deck. Ramp and this. So I'm guessing it cheats in something with this rather than being more Winota. Well, yeah. Oh, they're running black as well. This is multicolour. Maybe it's cheating in. It's nice that you can't work out what the decks are. That shows that they're interesting. We'll do this and then we can Lord Skitter if we don't hit a land. If we hit a land, then we can Sheoldred. I doubt they're reanimating, but you never know. They want to exile it, so they get their counter so badly, but they're going to take 2 damage for the privilege. Guess we have to get rid of that in case they manage to cheat something decent in. I'd like a land. Okay, we can always use this to get rid of it. If not, Jesus. God, I'm glad we played the ring. We'd have been digging through cards with no land for ages. Okay, let's see what they hit. Jeru and Hazaret, and they can destroy all non-legendary creatures if they want. That's just these. Lord Skitter is thankfully legendary. They have to choose at least one of these, so they're going to choose non-legendary, just going to get rid of both of these. They could have not played it right. I think you have that option, but the fact that they've played this, how have we not got any cards? Look at the top 6. Let's see how they attack, I suppose. One of those. One of those. Ugh. Better we get rid of Jeru and Hazaret now, right? I think it is. We're better than having this thing. Because we can always kill that off as well. And they've got another one of those. So we can Dollmaker on this. Let's get rid of this. We can then play another one of these to get rid of this. We don't need that, do we? Let's just go face. So bear in mind, 7 plus 3, I mean, getting a little bit low, but then we can Sheoldred. Gain a bunch of life for this. Yeah, they're just trying to finish us. So let's Sheoldred. Draw. That'll cost 1 life. Is that any problem? I'm gonna take 4, 11 maybe. Why didn't I get another virtue, man? God, we've really top decked badly. Okay, it's just a land in my hand. We want to block with that, so no. That means they draw. Yeah. That card just seems so bad because you have to tap your goose as well. We got another Sheoldred now, so we can just do like this and like this. Take no damage. Okay, another Atali. Another Invasion of Fiora. At least the last tick of that will do nothing. Because they've got no birds to tap. Okay, let's get Sheoldred in, let's tap this, gain some life, and then see where to go. Can I find some removal for this, please? We've got a Porcine Portent. Have we got any untapped? Yeah, we've got these. Can be black. So we can do this. Can attack for 3. They'll lose 2 to this. Oh, they got 3 life. Okay, yeah. Get rid of 2 rubbish lands. Thank goodness. That was harder than it should have been due to 3 attacks being played by the opponent. But we got there. Okay. Briar. Number 279. Alright. No going first for us this time. I wonder if it's more toxic players. Or whether it's mono red or something. No real clues. It's probably toxic. Green, white, what else is it? Naya. Alright, well, we won't do anything. What is Naya? Oh, it's not Naya. 5 colour maybe. 5 colour humans. Okay. Okay. Let's get rid of that. We would have liked to land then, but we put our own threat on the board, give them something to deal with, whilst we locate our land. That's not a land either. We'll play this one. Because we'll go pretty wide by the time this pops. What are you doing with all this? Do you need a certain colour? You don't have double red or something? Yeah, double red for that, yeah. Thankfully, I mean I would love to Dollmaker on this, but I think we need to get rid of this, so... We'll have to leave the Dollmakering. Where are my fucking lands? I don't know what the opponent's doing either. Nobody had anything. I don't know how we won that with 3 lands against 7. Did he completely flood and we completely got none? Who knows? Alright. Michael... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Good hand. As long as we get more lands. Same old story. How many are we running? 25. Should be the right number. Oh, gosh, more flipping toxic play. What is this? They've only got one, they kept a 1 land hand. It's interesting, isn't it? We'll get rid of Scroll. At least we can keep upgrading all their caster things. They can't. Come on! That is complete bullshit. Opposite of punishment. And we get punished with our 2 land hand. You can have some more Juggernauts. You better not keep topping land. What is going on here? I guess we'll happily kill the Rock Priest. Interesting. Honestly. How are we getting so screwed? They're going to start smoking through in a minute when they realise they can. Come on, game! Oh, man. This is ridiculous. This is honestly ridiculous. The thing is, we'll get 3 poison counters just for doing this. Because it's taken so long. Come on, even 3 and 14 is horrendous amount of land. So we'll take 4 if they just attack, and then they should just attack. What are they doing? I mean, we can't actually use any targeted spells. Maybe they will Sunfall for us? got that little train going. We'll have to try and kill that. Still can't actually attack anything. Let's just play this. That might make them use the Battle of Bywater. No. It just seems like a worse version of the double strike one. We just chump, we don't try and kill yet. Could block the Juggernaut with this. We just dead to poison, maybe. We only got 5 blockers, they've got 5, 6, 7 poison attackers. We'd be on 9. Maybe that's what they're working out now. We don't care about actual damage, I suppose. It's just if they find anything else that targets their own creatures, we're dead. That's probably pretty good, but do we use the one ring? Maybe we use the one ring now. We swing for 9. I wish there was a way of getting rid of these. Then we might have a chance. I don't know how we won that. Oh my goodness. Alright, against the Royal Assassin. 1-1-1-1-1. This looks like a pretty good hand, I think. Got some early game cards, which is what we need. We're on the draw, so the Crossroads is good. Okay, what's this interesting? Is it artifact aggro, do we think? Nope. Priest of Possibility. Vigilance, First Strike, Lifelink. Definitely want to be exiling that from the graveyard, because I remember these decks used to try bringing this back. Oh, Gobakan. What are you going to get rid of? Glad we didn't try putting the Peddler down then, because they would have flipped that, which would have been problems for us. Peddler gone. They can still flip this in 3 turns, but 3 turns is less of an issue than right now. And we can start giving them some issues, hopefully, in the meantime. I wonder what blue-white priest cards there are. Vigilance, First Strike, Lifelinks, maybe other Flying Angels or something? Ooh, I wanted to see a deck with this in. The Tome of Gadwick. Very cool. They didn't equip it to this and hit us though. Okay. Do we Peddler or do we Shell? Let's Peddler. Okay. They can get rid of the Sunfall because this takes a lot longer for it to come online. Interesting that they're running Sunfall with Gobakan though, because they can't protect their own creatures from it, and it feels like quite a creature-based deck, but... What was that? Sheoldred that went... Yeah, okay. We could Ashiok next turn, which would be nice. It'd be a 2/3. That's good. So that's still 2/3, so we can make the nightmares, or do we just start trying to find an answer to it? Maybe we just find an answer. Because we need a couple because of this. Okay, that's nice. So we can force this to go with this. Fun deck library. So this gives flying vigilance, which is, yeah. This didn't get flying, got first strike and lifelink. Maybe it's the white creature. I'd love to know what they got. Do you draw? Conjure a random one. Okay. Piece it together they must have got then. Okay. That one of the less good ones for them. This is going to get dangerous with these light shield array. Okay, let's see what we can find. Legion to Ashes will be good. So this would bait out them to pop this, and we can then use this. They still have this one indestructible creature, but at least it's down to a 1/2 again. Ashiok could actually make them exile 21 cards off their library. Yeah, look at all this expensive shit we've got in exile. The nice thing about this is that it's going to give us a pig that can exile artifacts as well. They need land, obviously. They could have another Sunfall, which would be pretty nice for them. This thing's still a long way off, thankfully. Calamity's Wake, exile graveyards. Fun. Let's just plus. We'll get rid of that land. Maybe we go for this and then exile the Lookout. Just in case they're running the Djinn or something, you never know. I feel like even if we get board wiped now, we've still got pretty good stuff in reserve. The number's gone down because we played something from exile. Oh, this, yeah. Yes. Nice. Nice, interesting deck from the opponent though. Nice to see they're doing okay with it. Okay, boys and girls, as you can probably tell from the video, I think on the video we played 10, 1, 9, and the one that we lost was a bit meh. The latest version of the deck has actually played 12, 1, 11, so it's got a 92% win rate. Overall, only 72, but I have made 7 versions of this deck. There has been lots and lots of changes. And only the latest version is particularly amazing. You know, before I was kind of struggling because I had all sorts of like completely different plays in here, missed some of the synergies that were available. This latest version of the deck is an honest to God powerhouse. I mean, it's climbed me from 12.93 Mythic up to 5.52, and I don't see why it wouldn't climb faster. It does take some learning, you know, like the different paths and lines through the deck. There's definitely some sort of like ways to go, ways not to go, knowing how you're playing against what decks. But once you get there, this thing is a powerhouse. It can basically fight off anything. Look at the green here. This red is where we were struggling a bit before I added the virtues. I think now that we've added the virtues to the deck, red will be a lot less of a problem as long as we don't get unlucky. If we don't draw any of these or our 2-drop creatures, then maybe we'll get beat down. But hopefully with 11 2-drops in the deck, we would be able to combat those mono red players now. And also, it's not as prevalent as it once was on the ladder in Alchemy because of the rotation and some of the better red cards being removed. You know, we just don't see this as much anymore. Interestingly, mono black ring decks are still around a lot. That's what I found. Hence why, you know, we're running the Legion to Ashes and things that can help us combat that. But you know what? Because of the grindy nature and the fact that we can remove everything else, even if they resolve a 1 ring or something, we still tend to win. We still tend to get there eventually, just because of all the sort of like recursion that is available in the deck. So I actually think this deck is one of the best I've made in a very, very long time. And whilst it does take some new rares to craft the Dollmaker and the Porcine Portent, if you've got them, I would say those are the cards to go for. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video, those who got to that point. If you did like the deck, please do like and subscribe. It means a lot to me, but you don't feel like you have to. Only if you like me, if you like the deck, if you like the video, please go ahead. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.